Hi everyone, I'm Wardah, a STEM Scholar Mentor, and today we'll be going over Lesson 3 of Unit 4 of Algebra 1, Speed. So when it comes to speed, we have our main formula, which is distance equals speed times time, or d equals st. This can also be rewritten to fit what question you're being asked, as speed equals distance over time, or time equals distance over speed. But you can always You can always change your formula to this original formula and just substitute your values. So first we're going to go over some questions together. So first is an airplane travels 700 miles in 2 hours. What is its average speed? We're given our distance here and our time here. So it would be speed equals distance over time. Our distance is 700 miles and our time is 2 hours. So 300, and we divide those, and our answer is 350 miles per hour. This is our speed. So when it comes to these questions, you really want the units to help guide you, and you always want the right units in your answer as well. So for the next one, a train travels 400 miles in 8 hours. What is its average speed? So it's giving us the same format, distance, time, and we have to find speed. So 400 miles is our distance, 8 hours is our time, and we have 50 miles per hour when you divide these. Next, a car's average speed is 60 miles per hour. How far has it traveled after 6 hours? So this format is a little bit different. We have our speed and our time, so we have to find our distance. So we use our regular equation, distance equals speed times time, and they made it a little bit complicated by making it into fractions, but basically what they're doing is just 60 times 6, and we get 360 miles. But you can always turn it into fractions if that helps you visualize the problem. So here, our last question says, a car averages 55 miles per hour. How long will it take to travel 300 miles to the hour and the nearest minute? So we're given our speed and our distance, and we have to find our time. So here, we have time equals distance over speed. They divided 300 from 55. Then we have our time, which is 5 over 45 repeating hours. And then to get it to the nearest minute, we have to convert hours to minute. We make a proportion, and our for minutes, it's 27 minutes, around 27 minutes, and our final time is 5 hours and 27 minutes. So, now I want you guys to do this question on your own, so pause the screen and take some time to do that. Okay, so here is the answer that you should have gotten. For the first part, it should be 10 hours, and for the second part, it should be 0.3 hours. So let's go over it. So for the first part, it says that Loretta goes 55 miles per hour, and she drives for 4 hours. So we're going to multiply those two together, so 55 times 4, and we get 220. Next, we're going to take our total amount of miles, which is 610, and subtract that from Loretta's, the amount of miles that Loretta drives, to get the amount of miles that her dad has to drive. So then for her dad's time, we're going to use our distance over speed equals time formula. And then we have our distance, which is 390 miles over 65 miles per hour, which is equal to 6 hours. Then, because they ask us the total time, we're going to add both Loretta's time, which was 4 hours, and her dad's time driving, which was 6 hours, and we get 4 plus 6 equals 10. So our answer for the first part of the question is 10 hours. That's the amount of time that it will take for her family to reach their destination. Now for the second part, we're basically just going to do the same thing, but a little bit differently. So in this part of the question, it says that Loretta drives for 2 hours and then she gets tired. So we're just going to calculate the amount of time, the amount of distance that she travels for 2 hours. So 55 miles per hour for 2 hours, multiply that, and we get 110 miles. Then we're going to subtract the total amount of miles minus the miles that Loretta went to get her dad's amount of miles again. Then we use the same formula, and we get as our distance 500 miles divided by 65 miles per hour, and that's around 7.7 hours. So then we subtract our total amount from the last part, which was 10, minus the dad's time, which was 7.7, to get the amount of saved time, which was 0.3, because that's what they're asking here. So for the second part of the question, we get 0.3 hours, and they asked us to determine to the nearest tenth of an hour how much time the family will save by having Loretta's dad drive for the remainder of the trip. So here's our answer. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for listening, and don't be afraid to contact my email for any questions. And if you're looking to practice with any additional resources, JMAP and Khan Academy are some great ones.